Hello everyone, I wish you a wonderful Yule's Fest, and I'm happy to speak to you today to the festivity of love with a lot of different topics. Honestly, we are in the middle of the shift and the veil fell away. And what does that mean? It means that everything from our subconscious mind is now purged to be revisited as our information from our ADN, from our ancestry, that was part to our decision making, to our action that we brought to life through our existence, which happened unconscious. So all of that is hidden in our shadow, that is hidden in our darkness, so to say, and it does not matter if we are masculine or feminine beings in these times. It is the unrealized potential that wants to come to life now and wants to be seen and embraced. And well, we have the storytelling of the evil darkness all over scripture and so on, and I get why this is. So from a compassionate approach of mine, you have to see it like that. The religion and the theosophy is existent in the world to stabilize the process of continuous and slow awakening. You could say it is a control mechanism of humanity. That's one point of view that is very valid, and it is used like that. But on the other hand, when we take a higher perspective as a neutral divine being, we see that every consciousness that is incarnated here on earth has the same right to experience free will to the fullest. And now, by the change that our healing creates, when we bring all of this unseen and fallen consciousness back into upright order, into good standing, back to love, so to say, because love is the primal source of all existence, and that's where we return to when we set back the puzzle together. We are the light, the soul, the spirit is the light, and we descend into our bodies, we tidy up the chaos, we restore the order within, and thereby we recreate love. And this is the true process that is the formation of unity, the remembrance. Healing is remembrance. Shadow work is nothing more than remembrance. So we can see it like that, and thereby it loses a lot of its character that is fearsome to many people and just a tool of self-love, a tool of self-love and reconciliation into wholeness. That's what it truly is. And this is the inner alchemy process, right? When we detach from all the storytelling in the mainstream media and the alternative media on the one hand, and then on the other hand already from the spiritual storytelling that will lure us from our point of perception, from the observer, out of ourselves, right somewhere into the coordinative system of society, of the world, and thereby we will of course experience the consequences for everyone, while the true consequences that we would have to experience are solidly found within. And that's where we have influence over our own aspects, over our own transformation, over our own reconciliation, and that's where we can do the work and where our experience returns, our remembrance, which is the wisdom. And we have, without all of these programs that we detach, practicing the art of letting go, a clear focus from our own spirit that goes into alignment within our heart, within our void. And from there the guidance is clear by then. And we will not be distracted by the gameplay, so to say, on the stage of the world. So this is why I suggest to use these times. We are in the month of March of the First Nights today, to revise the past year and the learnings that came to you, some of them quite painful, I assume, to transform all of that into the wisdom, into the guidance from the own heart, from the self, that is needed to master, to live and interact with societal life, with the human collective, with the world, so to say, without turbulence, because you have your clear and sharp knowing. Then again, what is needed for that? There are two types of people. One type of people, so polarity once again, one type of people, that is the more empathetic type, has certainly a clutter within themselves and does not want to face it. So they are leaking the energy and are avoiding to revise their own aspects within. Some of them strongly, some of them lesser. And this is a form of energy vampirism, although that these people are helping others. But it is stated in Matthew 7 of the Bible, with a splinter in the eye of the brother that you see clearly, while you don't see the piece of wood in your own, that you have to take care of first before you go to help your brother to pull out the splinter of their eye. That means that when you don't do that, your own contribution that you can master from your inner chaos will be untouched. That leads to the loss of your own consciousness in the morphogenetic field that you could contribute from your inner work, thereby resolve your situation into something much better, restoring love within, unity, and thereby stand strong also towards the other polarity of humanity that is openly narcissistic, in demand of energy, because they don't have the source connection, they don't have the connection to life any longer due to trauma or whatever. Both of these types of people are traumatized to begin with, but this is just found within and needs to be revised. And sometimes the karmic relation of cause and effect, that one has been a perpetrator, a very strong perpetrator with deeds that are powerful in weight and heaviness, are traumatized by that as well. So this is what the narcissist is. On the other hand, to the avoidant. So to the people who tend to avoid their own introspection, their own inner alchemy, I suggest just do it, because you have actually everything from the experience when you reached out to help others. Now take a step back from that and take your time to do it with yourselves. And take care that you purify your body, that you purify your mind, your mental health, so to say, state, and your emotions. Live your emotions, feel them, live your thoughts, reflect them, but not to the outside when you attack others or contribute all too much in discussion, but take everything within and tidy up there, right? So this brings your ancestry back into good standing, and your soul's karma is dissolved as well by that. That's how you inherit what is for you. The unconscious becomes conscious. That means your inner shadow, your darkness, meets your light of now, in the now moment. Love is restored, Dharma is restored. So you will learn your lesson, and you will not abuse your free will any longer. And if it is the free will to support others unconditionally, when you suffer from that, so you can sustain yourselves, your leaks closed, lesson done. For the other part, the narcissist, it's a little bit more difficult in this regard, because they cannot see that. This is their blind spot. They cannot see in their story they entertain from ego that they are lacking energy badly, and that they would undergo their healing the same way to put themselves on a proper foundation with their root, that they can nurture themselves without the help and without taking it from others due to their charm. This is the narcissist's lesson. It needs to be learned in these times. Both wounds stem from trauma. Those wounds stem from rejection or from abuse, literally. So a persona was built in the early days of your life now, or sometimes it is even carried forth from your parents, from your grandparents, from your ancestral line, playing out, wanting to be seen through your action, through your frequency, thereby you attract the lessons from the collective field without clarity in your focus about that. Now, this is what is really, really important in these times, to become aware about that, not to punish yourself, not to pressure yourself in the meaning of, oh, I need to hurry to close this leak. Now I need to hurry to go into discipline and punish myself. No, this is not the right answer. The right answer is silence and is boredom, actually, where you don't put your focus outside any longer, where you don't have the opportunity to do so. Maybe retreat somewhere into Vipassana, 10 days of silence with other people, very difficult to hold because you cannot speak in these 10 days. If you need it in a frame of order and with watchers who take care you don't talk, this is one opportunity, the Vipassana. The other would be to volunteer somewhere where you are set out in nature and don't have access to internet and so on and so on. So you can do the detox also with a good alimentation, where you practice the food alchemy, where you bless your food, where you, whenever possible, where you harvest your own crops, where you build your own crops, and thereby you have a connection to your ingestion, to what you take inside, and thereby you can practice to hold your awareness, to hold your focus, the whole process of nurturing yourself. Which is certainly not just by alimentation, but also by what you allow to come into your field. Carl Gustav Jung is a very, very famous, was a very famous psychiatrist in the era of the 50s, 60s. He was quite famous, and he was always speaking about the individuation process. He was a scholar of Sigmund Freud, but for my liking, the way better, way more important input that he delivered, because it is actually practical, and he speaks about the individuation process to become the whole self. And this is what everyone needs to achieve right now. Right now means continuously, right? Not tomorrow I need to be done, I need to pressure myself. This does not help. It just makes things worse. But becoming aware and really taking the time to go within and not to without anymore, and try to avoid, the narcissist avoids as well due to consumption and due to the stories entertained, but to really sit with it in a Zen state that you bring yourself into, that you don't have any opportunity to surpass, is the foundation that you need to create for yourselves, that you can really start working on that. So when you are in need for guidance and counseling or mentorship, that's what I offer via my website www.herzverbundenheit.com, Herzverbundenheit.com. There you find my program that I offer. I suggest for a deeper co-creation a soul plan reading for the karma and the ancestry, where I will analyze your complete birth root, not just the astrology regarding the eclipses, but the Chinese horoscope, the numerology, the Mayan aspects, and the human design. So I bring all of that together, so we have a very beautiful overview, and the shamanic part as well from the medicine wheel. So we have your state of coming back or coming here in front of us to have a head start, then I offer to do analysis of your drugs that you have in prescription. And most often this is a problem in many people, that they get medication for years and that they can identify with a dis-ease, while this is just a matter of negative consumption as well, or avoidance, because you can always play this card. I am diseased, so I don't need to do anything because this is how I am. But know, as a infinite creator, that you can change everything when your discipline kicks in. And this is the third part I offer, to establish a plan with you to get you on track with that. Also in the coachings then that you can book, to keep the guidance up, to speak with you, to feel into that. And when you prefer physical presence, we are here for you for the deep shamanic alchemy with the grandmother and Kambo, right? To put out the parasites, to clear out demonic entities that might still be part of your essence. We'll feel that very, very fast when we start the co-creation, and bring you back into the state of the divine child, just as a child of Mother Earth and divine spirit in these times, innocent and in inner unity as love. This is my sharing for these Christmas days, for this Jules Fest, as we call it, in the pagan ancestry point of view from Northern Europe. And this is by any means evil or anything. You know, when it comes to all of these stories, forgiveness truly is the only key that we have as humanity in these times, to forgive each other for what our ancestors did. And I am very aware that none of you is by now a murderer or anything comparable, a rapist. So all of that you still carry in density, see it as a present, see it as a gifting, although it might carry heavy, it might be heavy lifting. It is a gifting in this regard that it creates lessons for you that you can unpack and learn now without making the physical experience in violent surrounding. This is truly an alchemist's point of view on the things. And when we are co-creating and you remember your potential to become an alchemist as well of your inner world, then you are in a very, very good position for all that's going to come. Because the world, when all of the facade falls, people need to be very resilient and standing strong from their own foundation, from their own belief, or even knowing better that they are protected, and a little bit in the, how will I say that, in the knowing how consciousness plays out over here as life itself. That makes things easier to accept. Right, have a great rest of the year, enjoy your Hawfrost nights, and blessings to you when you accept in Lakesh Alakin. Shalom and Namaste. Bye bye.